Hi, this is Rob again. I wanted to give you some extra information that may help you in your magical practices. My goal today is to challenge the way you view your reality around you. And I'm going to let you in on some secrets about how you can also mentally comprehend that your reality is not around you. It is inside of you. And that's very important because as soon as you break that threshold of understanding, that your reality around you is inside of you, a reflection of inside of you, including me. Believe it or not, you are a reflection of me. And I am a reflection of you. And I am a reflection of you that is bringing this knowledge from your subconscious to your conscious. I have no doubt. And you may find that hard to believe, but it's true. So I'm going to challenge the way you view your reality around you so that you will be able to manifest your beliefs of how you see reality into your magical practices. Your magical practices are not going to be anything more or less than your beliefs in your reality. I'm going to give you some personal anecdotes about that. And I'm also going to give you some stories that you are familiar with that you may not have looked at in this way to also illustrate what I'm saying. First of all, I want to get out of the way this concept right now. Where I am at in my own ability to manifest my creations in my reality, I am not at the final destination. I cannot say, like Christ, water to wine. I cannot transcend higher realities at the drop of a hat like the Buddha could. I cannot do that at this point. But I am along the path where I have had experiences that I know this works, and I'm going to share some of those with you. If I did not know that this worked and that this path will lead toward that destination, then I would not be wasting your time, and I would not be wasting my time in making these videos. I know that I have something to offer and to give, and that is what I am doing. As soon as I feel like I have no more to give you, then I'm not going to make any more videos. And I'm going to go back to what I have on the path. If I go further along the path, then I guarantee you that I'm going to come back and share that with you. We are a collective species. We are part of the collective consciousness, and we evolve together. So, if I hoarded what I know and keep it just to myself, and did not send it out to the rest of the universe, which is a reflection of myself, if I did not give that knowledge to the rest of me, which is you, then I am saying that I am the only part of myself, of all creation. And that's not true, if that makes any sense. As you grow, I grow. And as I grow, it affects you whether you're consciously aware of it or not. So we're going to grow together. Okay, I want to share some anecdotes of why I know this works. I have been doing this for 8 years. Now I did plummet into a time where I was so muddled, and I've already told you about that, where I found it hard to practice and implement the things I had known. But that was a good experience, like I said, because it's taught me how to be able to practice even in the midst of my greatest pain, which is what I wanted to accomplish, I guess, what the lesson I wanted to teach myself. But here are some things that let me know this worked. After about 6 years of doing this, of practicing concentrating my mind on a single thought, and practicing raising my energy up and projecting it into that thought so that it will crystallize in the astral and manifest into the physical. After practicing and practicing, this is one of the first examples that was more than a coincidence. I was one time at a neighbor's house, and we weren't best friends. We were just acquaintances. And I had moved into a new apartment, and she had invited me over to her apartment to have coffee and just to chit-chat for a while. And I went into her living room. I was sitting on the sofa, and we were talking about just chit-chat things, everyday life. And she went into the kitchen to go get, I don't know what she went to get. It probably was sugar or something. She just went off to the kitchen for just a moment to get something. And I was looking around her apartment, and I promise you I was not coveting, or I did not intentionally say in my mind, I want that. I wasn't saying, and I'm going to do magic to get it. That's not what happened. But I spied a lamp on one of the end tables, and it was a beautiful lamp. I don't think it was a Tiffany. It was, I don't have it anymore. I sold it, but in a yard sale about a year later. But it looked just like a Tiffany lamp. It had the most beautiful crimson and forest green mosaic glass on the top. It had a brass stem. It had a dimmer with different switches. You could dim the light or make it brighter for reading. And I thought, man, that's the lamp I've been looking for. I want to get a lamp just like that for my living room. And she came back in. She did not see me looking at the lamp. And to be honest with you, it was kind of like it was my own thoughts. But then again, I have been practicing concentrating my thoughts. So I have reached a point where now if I think of something, I instinctively concentrate my thoughts and get rid of everything else while I'm thinking of something. And I'm pouring energy into it that's concentrated. And so that's what I was telling you the other day, that I have to be careful of that, because if I'm thinking a negative thought, it tends to manifest now into my life, or a positive. I manifest things more easily because of this concentration. Well, we finished our coffee, we finished talking, and I went back to my apartment, and about 2 hours later, there was a knock on my door, and she was there, and she said, I'm getting some new furniture, I'm rearranging my living room, and she says, would you be interested in this lamp? She said, I'll sell it to you for $10. And she had other items she was selling too. She never mentioned she was doing any of this when I was there. And that lamp came to me. And that was not a coincidence. I've had other things happen to me like that. When I was working on rituals, part of rituals is lighting candles and around your circle and forming energy around your circle. And I really wanted my candles to be on pedestals. And the same thing happened. I was visiting my parents, and I was on their porch, and they had these, I remember when they bought them too. This was not something they didn't value. They had these green copper stands that were about 2 feet high, and several of them where they placed citronella candles and things to get rid of the mosquitoes. And I was sitting there with my parents just talking again. I looked at one of those and I said, oh my gosh, those would be perfect. And I counted, and there were 4 of them. And I said, my gosh, that would be perfect for all the quarters of my ritual circle to help me with my candles. They wouldn't be on the ground. I wouldn't have to worry about them catching something on fire. And before I left, my mother, she didn't even offer me anything else. She said, would you like these stands, by the way? She says, I was thinking the other day, they're just too much on the porch. And I packed them into my trunk, took them home, and I said, you know what? I said, that's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. I can go through many, many, many things like that. I'm going to tell you one more story, and I have more to tell, but I'm not going to waste your time. These are little things now, keep in mind. They are within, there's a rule to magic I haven't told you. You have to draw things, you have more power to draw things into your life that are in your circle of influence.